Hello, 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 and welcome back. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, today I am doing a interview, not a client yet, maybe, but I am doing an interview with a guy that's doing all my Amazon fulfillment stuff. And so I was thinking when my client Erica was here and we were talking about Amazon stuff, I was thinking, that would probably be a really good interview and insight because a lot of you listening have things that you sell and maybe you don't sell them on Amazon yet. Maybe you do have an Amazon storefront and it's not going good, like when I had one and it didn't go good. And so I just wanted to bring Jonathan on, and he's doing, or John, I guess I was just calling you Jonathan before we got started. I wanted to bring John on, who's doing my stuff, because he's super experienced and he's very good at what he does. And so I just wanted to make sure that you guys got some insight. If you needed an expert to go to, you have one. So welcome, John.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to be up here.
Yeah, I'm excited. So John owns the Triangle 7 Group is the name of his business. And that is just for Amazon fulfillment, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit? You told me when we first visited a little bit about your history and how you got started. Because, this is what's going to happen, John. Everybody's going to look at your picture and go, that kid is too young to know anything about Amazon fulfillment. He does not have the experience. So I think it's important that you share your experience so people don't think you're 19 and you don't know what you're doing.
Well, and it's funny you say that because I did mean to shave. I'm not a big facial hair person, but maybe in that sentiment is good that I left a little bit.
A little power to
Yeah,
your age.
exactly. No, but I'm 28. I graduated college 6 years ago, and I went to work for a company that kind of specializes in working with other companies through Amazon. And I did that for about 4.5, 5 years. And then a year and a half ago, I went and bought my own company, completely unrelated to Amazon. It's called Sea Rock. It's a baby swing that hangs from boats. We have our own website, which we do Amazon for, which is helpful from my background. But about 6 months or a year into that, I have two partners, both buddies from home. It kind of evolved into this Triangle 7 group where we would meet people, companies that weren't doing Amazon, and we kind of would give them our experience and whatnot. And lo and behold, it was like, why don't we start helping these companies? And it kind of started with one, and then we started doing two, and we were like, why don't we just kind of make this into a whole thing? And it's gone from this little side project to we're helping maybe 18 or 20 companies now from a number of different things, whether they were on Amazon and they weren't necessarily doing it properly, or they weren't up there at all, and kind of
Mhm.
have launched them.
And that is where you found me. And so I think that this might be an important story to share is that I have people reaching out to me all the time. Oh, can I sell your stuff on Amazon? And I'm like, no, no, no. And so you reached out to me and I was like, no, I have somebody because you don't know who you can trust is the problem. Like a lot of these people that are reaching out to me are either not in this country or they don't speak English, which that's maybe something horrible to say, but you question then, do they say they live here, but they don't live here and they just have a mailing address for the US? Because there's so many people like that are kind of scammers. And so I was like, no, no, no. And we've had the person I was using before, my listing was not correct on Amazon. They did not have the correct photo of the new book cover. And they and I had gone back and forth about how are we going to fix this, whatever. And I said, well, it can be relisted because it's a new ISBN number on the back. Well, that never got done. You ordered a whole bunch of books, even though I said, no, I'm not using you. You were like, well, I don't really care what she says. I'm going to order these books anyway. And so I like the persistency. And then I looked a few weeks later and you had a new listing with the correct book cover. And I was like, that's exactly what I had said to do. So I messaged Tierra and I'm like, that dude that emailed, like, we need to talk to him because he obviously knows what he's doing. And then when we visited, it was very eye opening to learn all these things that were not being done correctly and the prices and all that kind of stuff because I did not know. All I knew is that I didn't like Amazon. I don't want to work with them because as a bookseller, an author, I went to Amazon early on, signed up, got my account, uploaded my book cover. Books were selling really fast. I didn't get books out as quickly as my contract says I'm supposed to, because of course I did not read the contract. Why would I do that? And so Amazon shut me down. They were like, nope, we are never doing business with you again. And I have never been able to get them to reinstate my account. And at the time, I was making $3 a book. So I'm selling a $20 book, making $3. So I did not even think about going back to Amazon for probably 10 years because I was like, this is such a joke. I cannot pay my bills if I sell books for $3. And so then when I started talking to Amazon fulfillment people, I was amazed at how much more money I make by using you. So there's like a whole back end piece to this, I'm assuming, that you guys like either why is it so different for you than me? Are we just as consumers too dumb to understand how to use it because we don't spend the time learning it? Or do you guys as fulfillment businesses get a better deal?
That's a good question, and honestly, I'm not 100% sure how, like, a contract with Amazon exactly works, maybe, like, from a percentage standpoint, because
Um,
we've never worked with Amazon. I always call it we kinda work through Amazon, 'cause we
oh,
kinda have this, like, me and you have, like, a quote, unquote, "off the record deal." We're just using
mhm,
Amazon as the platform that millions and millions of people go to, and obviously, they do get a percentage of what when we sell your book, get that percentage, but it's not, you're not selling your soul to them,
yeah,
so to
right.
speak. Um,
So you're selling your soul to them, and I'm just
um, sort of. I mean, with it, like for yours, like for example, the farming is your brand, and we're taking that margin where we had to pay you, and then they take a little bit on the back. But it's we don't have the whole, you
So
know.
you don't know if I would have a different account or contract than what you guys would have as a Amazon reseller. Is
Well,
that what you
I
would be
know it would be
called?
different. I know it would be
Oh,
definitely
okay.
be different. They would
Okay.
definitely take a much larger fee.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, seriously, I got $3. Is a dollar? It was either a dollar or $3 a book. Now that I think about it, I want to say it was maybe a buck. And then I was supposed to do returns and I was supposed to fulfill and you have to keep up with how quickly you need to fulfill and inventory and all the stuff. It was a lot for a dollar. It was a lot even for $3. And so I think that as people have items, like that was kind of one of my big purposes here, is as people have items to sell, they're probably better off to find someone like yourself that has the fulfillment contract versus somebody that is just gonna go on and put their business online and resell through Amazon.
For sure, and I've also talked to people that have gone through Amazon who I don't think they necessarily care about, like, your own website as when it comes to selling, because we've dealt with people where the Amazon's actually undercut their price on their website. So, not only is their product cheaper on Amazon, but then they have the speed and fulfillment of Amazon. So more people are going to Amazon than their own website. And that's a
Mhm,
big thing that we do. We price above people's website because we're not trying to steal people's sales. I understand as a brand owner that I would rather have a sale from my website than Amazon because the fees we run through Shopify, the fees on Shopify are like 1 or 2% compared
mhm,
to Amazon that's 15% off the top, then you have, like, fulfillment fees and storage and miscellaneous things like that. So, we're basically just trying to capture the customer that was on Amazon searching for you or maybe just searching for anything and kinda stumbled
mhm,
across you and not trying to interrupt what you have going on with
mhm.
your particular website.
Yeah, which I 100% appreciated because of the fact that the whoever was selling it before, the old reseller I had, they actually wanted to price it underneath my website.
Mhm.
And I was like, no, no, you have to at least be the same price. Right. And you and I just talked about the fact that on my website, shipping's $9 because the post office sucks. And so I have to do that in order to put tracking on it so we know it got there because we've had so many books lost. And so the price does get to be $29 because it's the shipping. And is it worth it? Yes, it's worth the $30. But people are like $9 in shipping. That's crazy. But if you go on to Amazon, now I'm selling more of those on Amazon. And as a business owner, if you understand marketing, you want that you want the person to buy from your website so you A make more money so that you can do more marketing, but B now you've got that person's name so you can email them and say, "Hey, I'm doing a webinar or we're doing a special on this," or "Hey, if you want to make an appointment with me, here's the appointment." And we don't blast people, but you give up that contact. And I learned that very early on. I'm friends with one of the people involved in Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And she's like, you need to collect those email addresses and those names. When you do Amazon, you can't do that. You can't send back out to those people and touch them and say, hey, we're still here to help you if we want. So you were very good about just saying, Mary Jo, we're not going to sell it for more, or we're not going to sell it for less than your website. If people absolutely want to pay more, they can go to Amazon. Otherwise, like we'd want them to go to your website.
Right, 100%, and that's the whole main pitch, like, this is a great second business for us, but, kinda going back to the trust thing, like, having my own company, I'll always respect, like, A, if you don't wanna do it, I'll be persistent, probably a little bit, like, because, I'm not big on giving up on something that I think could be a good win-win, but
Yeah.
it's so much better to reach out and have a relationship with somebody and, if things do progress to where you do get that relationship and you're working together through Amazon, great, and, we can kinda go back and forth to whatever it may be, pricing or different strategies and kinda be in tune because there's so much on Amazon that's Wild West of just ordering things, going to a yard sale. I mean, you can buy anything on Amazon because people can
Mhm.
just list whatever, and they don't even have to be living in this country that you were mentioning
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah. And then it takes you forever to get it because it's coming from another country. Do you have a particular product that you would say, hey, this is a product that I would love to sell, or these are products that do better than others? Do you have any favorites in that avenue?
Oh, that's
Or do you guys focus on specific products?
I'd say a lot have come from Sea Rock, kind of in that marine-ish
Mhm.
outdoor lifestyle. We have a really cool brand that's been a really neat story. 2 women in Charleston, South Carolina own it's like a beach bag. It kinda looks like a bog bag where you can wash it and rinse it off. It's called Woda Bag, and that's been a really neat one. We started them from the ground up. It's a newer company and they're killing it. That's been a really cool one. But yeah, a lot of the outdoor brands,
So you
books.
don't want like toothpaste and stuff.
I mean, we certainly don't discriminate by any means. I mean, you
Okay.
know, things will pop up from social media ads from, whatever I search on my social media and I've found out there's so many different products that people have come up with just kind of owning this business. So that's really neat.
Is there a difference between is there a difference between what you do and then the Amazon fulfillment program themselves? Like, is that does Amazon have their own stuff and then you guys have your stuff and then I would have my stuff? Like, are there different levels of distributors?
No, so everything
Okay.
goes out of they have fulfillment warehouses all over the country. So we can have our product in the same warehouses that they do and they're on the same if you're FBA, which is fulfillment by Amazon, you're all have access to the prime shipping that everybody
Yeah.
wants.
So is FBA the same as you then?
Yes, so we'll like, when
Okay.
we get your books, we'll send them to Amazon warehouses, and then they have an algorithm that will distribute percent based off the sales percentages, and, some to the West Coast, some to the Southeast, however that breakdown goes for that specific product.
So as you as an Amazon fulfillment company, is that correct by saying that, Amazon fulfillment company? Or is
It
that
can
wrong
be,
terminology?
just an Amazon partner.
Retailer, partner? Okay. So as an Amazon partner then, do you have the ability to market for us within Amazon? Like, "Hey, run a deal for us or promote something for us," as the manufacturer?
Yes, yes, you do. You can run ads and sales, and that kinda goes back to the relationship part of it with the holidays coming up. If a brand owner wants to really be aggressive this Christmas or whatever the case may be, they can, kinda make a plan with us to be like, "We wanna sell a bunch of units." I don't necessarily get into people's cash situations or anything, but just kinda making up a hypothetical situation. They need to move a bunch of inventory for whatever reason.
Mhm. That's interesting. I had not really thought about that. I had been asked in the future, "Oh, do you wanna run sales?" and those sort of things. But you truly are that's just one more reason to work with somebody that you know and that you trust is because now like, even for you emailed me and said, "Hey, Mary Jo, can I get a couple of the videos off your website?" Like, you have not at all been lazy about what you've done. Like, you researched everything before you even emailed me, you researched stuff before we had our phone call, and now it's, "Hey, how can I make this listing better so that you can actually sell more books online?" And that piece of it, I mean, I just thought John's awesome, but I didn't think, like, that is important to have that relationship. And you're very responsive. That's another thing. Like, I email you and immediately get a response back. You are, telling me what the sales are. Like, if I'm asking for something, you're more than happy to accommodate and to do those things, which is nice. And that's the relationship piece. Because I can have anybody that's an Amazon partner help me, but the relationship is going to be important.
For sure, and I mean, not to just say it for a podcast, but I just really enjoy it. I enjoy Rock and dealing with customers and people on the water and, like, helping their child, and it's kinda like a life-making moment or whatever, and, with Triangle 7, getting to talk with owners and kinda hearing good things, bad things, all the whatever they have going on with their business, it's just enjoyable, so, yeah, I respond fast because I wanna make both sides start clicking, and,
Yeah.
the better things are for you, the better they are for us, and it's just such a mutually benefiting space.
So, what would be the biggest reason that I should use an Amazon partner versus just doing it myself? Have you
Yeah,
seen
great question. I would say, probably the biggest reason people say they're glad that they've used this is just to avoid the headache, and we've talked about some of the headaches you dealt with Amazon, with them, like, closing your account and just taking a big fee. So, definitely the headache, time, a lot of the companies we reach, we're not reaching out to Yeti. Yeti has thousands of employees, zillions of dollars. I can't help Yeti. A lot of the companies we work with are smaller, 1 or 2 owners, not a lot of employees. They're handling maybe a family, children, all the books, fulfillment, all the things that comes in front of the business, financials. So we're kind of like I don't have time to learn an entire new platform that's so big, and, you can kinda outsource it to us, so it's a huge from a time saver. Cash flow is big, we're coming in and placing orders of, maybe 200 units a month, whatever it may be, so you can kinda quickly move that inventory as we're viewed as kind of a big, like, wholesale account. Those are probably the top few that we'll get back as, I'm glad we're doing this type thing.
and I'm assuming that the rules on Amazon change frequently, just like the rules of Facebook marketing changes frequently, and you're having to keep up with all that stuff.
They do. It's like a game, and sometimes the game is more fun to play than others, but to having, like, the prior knowledge and just kinda knowing that that's comes with the territory, we've gained the ability to kinda have the fast track, so to speak, to maybe figuring out the next piece of the puzzle, but you're
I
100%
would
right.
imagine that can sometimes be a full-time job.
It can be. No, it definitely can be.
And I think that is like, I have somebody that does my Facebook marketing, and that's, like, almost all he does is Facebook, and it is insane the amount of changes. And even, like, within Amazon, the amount of changes, like, they won't even talk to me. I cannot call them and have a conversation, right? I have tried. It's impossible. So, the time savings on it to me just makes sense. What are some of the biggest, like, when you reach out to people, because obviously you reach out to me. So when you reach out to people, what are some of their biggest objections of, "No, I can do this on my own," or "I don't need that?" Like, what should people be aware of that may be their objection, and we're just gonna shut them down right now?
Yeah. I think the biggest one is probably trust. I'm sure you get a lot of people reaching out, and it's just like, we're the fifth person that's reached out in the last 3 weeks and just kinda, like, over it. A lot of people kinda what you were mentioning earlier with the, being able to capture the customer. Some companies have a lot more than their book to offer somebody, and they're more relying on that average order value of a customer,
Mhm.
whether it be signing up for a program or selling them whatever, and the item that we're trying to sell is kinda just the gateway to that customer, so they're not even really worried about more sales, which I do get. And then I think some is, I don't know if pride is necessarily the correct word, but just like a real determination to keep everything in house and not outsource anything,
Mhm.
which I also get because
Yeah,
uh
but I look at you as, like, a 1099 employee, right? Like, I could hire somebody else to do that, but I'm gonna have to hire them. And so if I'm a small business, it's the who, not how. Like, I don't know if you've ever read that book, Who, Not How. It's a great book. If y'all haven't read it, you should go read it. But it's really a matter of, like, I cannot do everything. I can't I just can't do everything and then not be stressed out. And so I'm either going to pay you to do it and keep up on everything, or I'm going to have to do it and try to keep up on everything. And it's not going to happen. Like, it's just not. I couldn't keep up on Facebook. So as a business owner, I'm supposed to keep up on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. I'm supposed to make sure that all my clients are taken care of. I'm supposed to be able to sell books. I'm supposed to have my drip campaigns, right? I'm supposed to do all this stuff as a business owner. There's no way you can do that without help. And if you do, it's going to slack. Like, I would have had to learn how to upload a picture to Amazon and say, "Okay, I want these pictures, I want this price, I want all that stuff." And that would have taken time away from sitting with a customer. And so I think as small business owners, we have to look at it that way and say, "Hey, you're gonna either have somebody come in house. If you're gonna do it yourself, then you're gonna hire somebody to do something else you couldn't do." So it doesn't matter. You're hiring somebody to do Amazon. It's either you or it's someone else.
and that's probably my least favorite objection, being honest, just because I'll check whatever months later and they'll still not be on the platform and reach out again, and there's just I think that it's just stuck in their
Mhm.
mind that they're not gonna change, and,
Yeah,
it is what it
and
is.
they're not.
Yeah,
I and I'll be honest, I for a long time did not wanna go to Amazon, because I wanted to be able to gather those names and for my business to be able to do a drip campaign, right? I don't know what we sold on Amazon through you in October. I wanna say it was like a couple hundred bucks. Was it a couple hundred?
that
I
sounds
don't
right.
have the spreadsheet right in front of me. That's huge. Like, we're doing the marketing and they're obviously gonna go there because that's where your client feels secure. They're gonna trust Amazon over trusting my website sometimes because there are scammers on websites too. And so if you're a small business saying, "Well, I don't wanna do anything with Amazon because I hate Amazon." Well, you know what? I love them and I hate them. I love them because 'cause they're selling my books. I hate them because I doesn't nothing is coming in 2 days, okay? I'm in Bismarck, North Dakota. If I get it in a week, it's a miracle. but yet I'm paying for 2 days. So there's a love-hate relationship there. As a business owner, I can tell who comes from Amazon because my system, when they book their appointment with me, it shows up a little bit differently in my system, and I don't want it fixed because I can tell that person bought that book on Amazon. And it's a lot. There's still a lot of people that are buying the book and saying, "Oh, Mary Jo's schedule link is in here. I'm going to have a meeting with her." You know, the reviews that go on Amazon, people look at those and they're going to take those more serious probably than the reviews on my website because I can filter the reviews on my website, but I can't filter the reviews on Amazon. Do you see that do you see review differences? Like, I'm using you as a fulfillment, as a Amazon partner, that the reviews are different than the reviews would be if I didn't have an Amazon partner, or does that not affect anything?
I would say that those are probably the same. We can do some things to like manually request reviews. You hit the nail on the head about the website and kind of being able to filter out though, because Amazon's review policy, you're kind of stuck with what people leave you. So it's super important on our end to, make sure the book is, from a quality control standpoint, make sure the book is, actually new as we're selling them or the product's new or whatever it may be. Because once it gets to that customer, you're kind of at their discretion. And there's some things like a customer can't just come on and complain about a price or, if it arrived damaged because of UPS or whoever, you kind of have some you can work around that, but you're a lot of times up to their discretion.
Do you have the return? Can you choose to have a return policy or not?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Okay. So do you guys opt into the return policy? Like, "Oh, it was damaged. Can you send me a new book?"
Yes, and I think it's 30 days that people
Okay.
have, to 30 or 60.
That was one thing when I was doing it on my own. I'm like, "I'm making $3 and now this book didn't get there." And UPS, or the post office, not UPS, the post office lost it, or it got there without just the envelope arrived and no book in the envelope. And I made $3 and now I'm supposed to send a new one. I have heard people talking about that on social media, that they tried to do the business like you guys are. And there's so many returns because people are dishonest, and they will say, "Oh, it came without the book in it." Who's to say they didn't open the envelope and the book was not there, right? And then they want their money back. And that puts you guys out of business because you're on the hook for that, correct? You're not getting
Definitely,
that money back. So
definitely.
so y'all listening, okay, don't be returning crap on Amazon because you didn't pay attention to the description or something. Like, sometimes I order from Amazon and I'm like, "That is not what I ordered." And then I go back and I'm like, "That is what I ordered. Shoot." Well, I guess I'm just gonna keep it because that was my fault. I didn't look. I'll give it away, donate it, whatever. Because a lot of those things don't even go back to Amazon, do they? To be resold? They're just going into those box stores where you just sift through big boxes and buy stuff?
Yeah, and it can depend on the product. Typically, if you get a book back, you might have sent it out as new, but the chances of it coming back as new are pretty slim just from, especially like your book's a good example. It's a smaller paperback. It's pretty, it'd be pretty easy to kind of bend or whatever. So it's kind of hard to put that back into the
Yeah.
circulation as new.
Another reason we send them here as with priority mail is because then it's in that cardboard envelope. But you would not believe how many pictures we get of those. The book is soaking wet because the delivery person left it out in the rain, didn't put it in the actual mailbox. It's glorious. All right, let me see what else I got for questions here. What are the things that I need to look for in a partner? Like, what are the red flags? I know you came to me and I was astonished by how much more you were going to pay me for my books versus what somebody else was gonna pay, what the other people were paying me. And I just wanna be transparent here, because when John came to me and said, "Hey, Mary Jo, how much are you getting for books?" Because you gotta negotiate with John and say, "This is what I want." And then John will say, "Well, maybe I make X amount." He needs to make his certain profit. Okay. So when I told him what I was getting paid per book, John's like, "I can't sleep at night." Well, first, John said, "You shouldn't be able to sleep at night with that." And I said, "Well, I've been sleeping fine because I didn't know any different." Right. But he was so honest about saying, "No, we need to pay you more because we're making too much profit." That would not, that he was not okay and settled with that. So I think that, to me, that was like out of the gate, you were just being super honest. There's not a lot of people that would have done that because I didn't even know that I should have negotiated the other way around and not told you. So, what are some of those red flags? Like, if I have an Amazon partner that I'm sending stuff to now, what are the red flags that I should be watching for? So, maybe I should be starting to look for somebody else.
Yeah, kind of off that example. I mean, to me, trust is everything. Like as a brand owner, if I was going to start outsourcing something to C Rock is my own brand, and my name is on the title or whatever papers there are, the trademark. If I'm going to work with somebody, if somebody's going to be touching something that's mine, I have to trust them. So I know, as knowing that what I would want, I go into that kind of at the reverse of like, I want this person to trust me. And it can't be fake. You can't fake trust and honesty. I'm not necessarily going to beg somebody to work with us. I can't remember if I did it to you, but a lot of people I'll tell, these are our list of partners. Like, please call them. If you need a
I
reference.
didn't need a list. I got a good gut feeling. I didn't need a list.
But I mean, if you need a reference or, we're at that point where we have, like I mentioned, 18 or 20 people we're working with, I have very, very high confidence if you called
Mhm.
any one of them, they'll at least won't badmouth me. They'll at least give a,
Yeah.
a decent review of us.
But is there something within the listing or something they're doing that would be a red flag? Like, oh, maybe they're taking a week to get back to me, or the listing is incorrect and that's not getting fixed. Are there any of those sort of things that we need to look for or should look for?
Yeah, I'd say response time's a good one because I think that shows how much they're prioritizing you. And then, if you do kind of like what you mentioned with the issue with the picture or, maybe the description's not what it's supposed to be and they're just continuing to not do it or like, slow response time, it kind of starts to make you wonder, what all's going on. And that, I mean, that's why it's so important at the top to really establish that trust.
As your customer, should we expect to get reports that this is how much we sold, this is how, like, things are coming damaged, things are shipping damaged, like, I don't know what kind of stuff you guys see on your end, but I asked about sales, like, "Oh, how many did you sell last month?" And you just immediately created an Excel spreadsheet, and I don't know if I'm special or if you just do that for everybody, and should people expect that, or is that, because that is not what I was getting before.
Yeah, no, we'll do whatever anybody wants. We do that for some. Some people are good with knowing. Typically, we try to place orders monthly, and if we come place an order for 100, that's ballpark of what we're probably selling. But then, some people want a spreadsheet, and that's totally fine. It really always goes back to we understand that it's somebody's brand, it's somebody's company that they own, and they should be, have access to every bit of information that they want to be involved with.
How do you control, this is a piece that I think is hard. I'm sending them to the fulfillment center, right? The first order I sent to you so you could check it out, you could get your hands on it, see it. But they're going to be going to the Amazon fulfillment center and then they take them and they do whatever. How do you control the shipping of that? Like, to make sure they were packaged correctly, to make sure that they were shipped correctly.
From us to Amazon?
from Amazon to the customer because they never actually go to you, right?
Right.
Like my books don't go to you, they go directly to the Amazon center. And then we have Amazon people doing the things. So, how do you control that piece of it to make sure they're doing it right?
Yeah, good question.
Quality control, if you would.
A lot of the stuff that does come from us or will come to us first and then goes to Amazon. So, we'll do our first quality control check. Obviously, you lose a little bit of that when it goes to other people and then to another person. Some of the brands we work with a cooler company out of Georgia, and they have product boxes that has like their logo and everything on the outside, and they're nicely packaged. So that will get sent to Amazon, and then from Amazon to the end customer, it'll show up in a nice branded packaged
Ah,
box. Books are a little different because it's just a book and you throw it in a
right.
mailer or a little box or whatever. Like for the I guess you call them like higher end product brands. A lot of companies will have like their own box, which is a nice
Well,
touch for the.
that's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't even know you could do that. That's very cool. Okay. What do you see changing in Amazon? What do you see for trends that are coming up, or what should we all be aware of if we're business owners?
Oh goodness. From like and I read some stuff. I try not to read too much about what's going on with the world and technology and AI because it's
You're aware.
I'm aware. I've read that. Well, I know you can buy like houses on Amazon, but I've read that people are going to start running their subscriptions through Amazon. I
Oh.
don't even know what that really means. I mean, I know they have like movies and stuff, and now the Thursday night NFL game is on through Amazon Prime. I'll be interested to see where they stop.
So you don't think they're gonna fall off by any stretch of the imagination? I think I my assistants and I were talking about this the other day. My one assistant kinda quit using Amazon and has gone to Target because she can get her stuff in 2 days from Target, and then if she
Mhm.
needs to return it, Target's right there, you know? Walmart is kind of like, Walmart's kinda my thing. I'm like, "Geez, I can order it from Walmart online, and they're like an Amazon," you know? You've got a lot of these people even if I go to a decor store. Oh god, I can never remember the name of this dumb store. But there's a decor store that I go in on and I'm like, "That was not in the store. I went there and that was not there." And I've ordered stuff and they're basically an Amazon fulfillment center as well. Like your Bed Bath& and Beyond kinda used to be that way. So do you see that people are gonna maybe say, "You know what? We're done with Amazon and we're gonna move on to something else."
I'm sure. I mean, Amazon's changed the game for so many people. I mean, even for C Rock, we know that Amazon's created this whole shipping unrealistic, get it in an hour after you order it type of thing that, we kinda have to be on our game where, they get the product in a day or 2 or they might not want it. And, I'm
Mm.
sure that competition will continue to make other companies tighten up their processes. Like you mentioned, Target, I think Walmart has a kind of a Prime thing. I guess as far as, like, them going away, I mean, I feel like we're so far in that they're just ahead of everybody. It wouldn't be an overnight thing by any means.
I think that the house thing, buying houses on Amazon, it's not any different than we bought houses through Sears Roebuck magazine, right? Like, back in the day, you're probably far too young to remember. Have you ever heard of that even?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So, like, we own a rental property that was a house that came on the railroad through the Sears Roebuck magazine, and now that is one of our rental houses. That's actually our Airbnb. So, it's a 1913, 1914 Sears Roebuck home, and I feel like that's not I think that is gonna blow up on Amazon if people can buy houses there because everybody wants a tiny house, right? What are we gonna do? We're gonna either put mom and dad in a nursing home or we're gonna throw them in the backyard in their tiny house, and we'll just buy that tiny house off of Amazon. What's gonna be the harder part is back in the day, people knew how to do construction. Today, people aren't as handy as they used to be. And so how are they gonna put it together?
That's a good
I don't
point.
know.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, I have friends that I'll come to their house and they have 6 or 7 boxes. And the funny thing is I don't even order off Amazon. I'm not like a I just don't. I don't even really buy stuff. I have everything I need. But
Yeah.
people buy, like, daily items like the toilet paper, toothpaste.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I buy all of that locally. Like, the only thing I'll get off of Amazon is something that I literally cannot get in town. I do a lot of clothes shopping on Amazon now because I absolutely hate shopping for clothes, and it's getting harder and harder to find things in town, but I'm still gonna go get my toilet paper, my daily needs, all that kinda stuff at Walmart. Like, I'm gonna walk into Walmart because 'cause I'm old-fashioned, and I'm gonna put it in my cart, and I'm not gonna have them get it for me because I'm picky. I want like this or that, or I want to maybe see something new or whatever it is. But it is interesting that I have a lot of friends that do exactly that. Their monthly order comes from Amazon, their cat food, whatever. I actually was getting dog food from like Chewy. And then I was like, oh, I'll get it from Amazon for a few times. And I noticed that the FedEx lady would put it way out at the end of the driveway. And I thought, well, shoot, I don't know that I can blame her. It's heavy. And she's supposed to, they don't ever like park on our concrete. So I'm like, she's supposed to bring it all the way in? That poor thing. Like, I'm going to Walmart anyway every day. Scott's along. I'll just make him carry it. Like, I don't. Can you imagine how many heavy things they have on a day? I kind of feel bad for our delivery people, is the moral of the story. So I just quit ordering anything super heavy off of the internet unless I absolutely have to.
How recent were you getting that dog food off Amazon?
I probably quit a year and a half ago.
Okay. I was gonna say we actually just started working with a dog food,
Oh, did you?
and
Yeah,
they are
I have
very heavy
not.
bags.
And I priced it out. That was the other thing. I went to Chewy and then I went to Walmart and I'm like, it's the same price at Walmart as it is on Chewy. It's just that I don't have to actually physically go get it, but I'm there every Sunday anyway. So why not just pick it up there instead of killing my poor delivery driver's back? You know? Like, you've got 15 pounds of dog food and then you got a whole thing of cat food. And I'm like, that poor lady, she probably hates every pet owner in her in her route because they're all ordering their dog food and she's become their labor person. Yeah. So,
Yeah, no, Amazon's effect has spread where everybody's ordering
yeah.
everything off the internet, whether it's from Amazon or not, their groceries and anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, cuz it's convenience.
It's just so much easier.
Right. And I don't find that they're actually price shopping. I do not find that people are price shopping anymore. They are just saying, "Hey, it's easy. Amazon has my credit card number. It's there, and I'm just gonna get it there." Because when I price shop, I'm like, "Why would I go to Amazon to buy that when it's actually more expensive than if I just went to Walmart in town to get it?"
Mhm.
And I can have it that day or the next day because I'm not getting it any sooner. And then, of course, I have a lot of rural folks. That's their lifeline is Amazon because they live 3 hours from a Walmart or they live 2 hours from a Walmart. It's really super awesome for them. For people like myself that live in a bigger community, it doesn't always make sense. Okay, I'm out of questions. Anything else that you want people to know or a final thought on anything that you would want to share? Oh, how about how do we get a hold of you, John? How about we go there? I almost forgot.
Sure. Yeah, my email is john, John, at triangle7group.com. Triangle, and then 7 is the number 7 group, group.com. And then you can call me, I don't care, 252-945-2102.
Okay, and we'll try to put those in the show notes as well. Does Triangle 7 have a website that people could go to as well?
Yes, triangle7group.com.
Okay. So you guys can go there if you need him, or, you can just email me, maryjo@withoutthebank.com, and we'll send you through to John as well if for whatever reason you typed something wrong or didn't hear something correctly. But all right. Well, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it.
I enjoyed it very much.
Okay,
Pleasure.
awesome. Well, you guys know the routine. If you have comments, questions, concerns, email me, maryjo@withoutthebank.com. Grab your book, schedule your appointment, see if we can help you. If not, that's okay. I have a new friend. Okay, you guys let me know if you need anything. Otherwise, you have a fantastic rest of your day.